What's up guys, this is Wubblepig and today I'm going to show you how to download and use Lucid GTO. So you may have heard Doug Polk recently describing Lucid GTO as his favourite GTO trainer in several interviews, and he actually used the program to study with during his high stakes feud victory over Daniel Negreanu. So Lucid is a GTO training software that allows you to play drills versus a GTO bot, as you can see in the pictures behind here. As well as browse any GTO solution using whichever turn and river sizings you want. So you have complete control over the sizings that you use, which is quite unique in a GTO trainer. There are numerous sims available on the cloud, and you can have these included in your subscription if you want. And it includes most scenarios of spin and goes, heads up sit and goes, and heads up cash at 100 big blinds. There's also plans to have all simulations for tournament and cash game scenarios uploaded in the near future. You can use your own sims in the program as well as the ones that are on the cloud, and you can open any sim into PO Viewer with just one click from Lucid. Other features will also be added to Lucid imminently, starting with a hand history uploader where you can compare your play versus GTO sims. If you have any questions about the program, please visit sixoff.com and find the Contact Us tab, or check out the Discord channel, of which the link is below the video. I'm now going to introduce the program, how to download it, how to use it, all of the features, how to tweak the settings, and hopefully it will be an easy to follow in-depth description of the program. So thanks for watching. I'm now going to run through the very straightforward process of buying and downloading Lucid GTO. So you want to navigate to sixoff.com, which you can search for. It will be here, top of the search results, and you'll be brought to the home page here. If you have an account, click login. If you don't, click register here. You'll be asked to provide your name and your login details here that you want to use, which is your email and your password, and then click register. You'll then be asked to verify your email via your own email account. Once you've verified the email, come back to lucidgto.com, click login, enter your credentials, and log in like so. You then want to select Lucid GTO and subscribe. As you can see here, you get 4 days free, so you can try the program for 4 days without paying anything and cancel before then, or continue with your subscription. Once you click subscribe, you'll be taken to this part of the page here that offers you the pricing plans. So it's $40 for 1 month of basic, which doesn't include the cloud sims, or an extra $20 to include the cloud sims, which at the moment comprise of spin and heads up simulations up to 25 big blinds, as well as heads up cash sims for 100 big blinds. And that catalogue is growing all the time. You can choose 6 months and get a 1 month discount as well. Select your plan, and you'll be taken here to the payment page where you can either apply your code or just continue. You click pay with card and enter your payment credentials there. Once you've entered your payment credentials, just simply come back to the website and click the subscriptions tab where you'll now see your active license. You can copy that and we'll use that when we log into Lucid GTO. You can manage your subscription here. Simply click on this link here and you can either upgrade or you can even cancel your subscription if you choose to do so before the end of your trial. You can see on the subscription page that there is a link for download Lucid GTO. Click this link to get the program started. If your computer asks you to keep the file and mark it as safe, do so. The program is 100% safe. There's nothing to be worried about. Once the program is downloaded, simply click the link at the bottom of your browser or go to your downloads on your computer and click setup. Once you click setup, you can see the Lucid program starting. You'll be asked to input your license, which we copied earlier, and we click submit. The program will appear and you're now registered, downloaded, and you're ready to use Lucid GTO. This is the home page for the program, and you can see in the top left drills, which is where you play against the AI, the browser, which is where you can look at your simulations, local sims, where you can browse to the simulations that you've got saved on your computer if you're not using the cloud, and you can see settings where you can change various parts of the program. Coming soon will be goals, which will be metrics to measure how much studying you've done, and upload hands, which is a hand history uploader where you can use the hands that you've played and review them this way. We'll start by taking a look at the settings tab, and you can see here the PO Solver exe file path. So Lucid GTO uses the PO engine, and you will get a free copy of a PO engine when you download Lucid. If you want to change the engine path, that's if you own PioSolver Basic, Pro or Edge, simply copy and paste the file location of your PioSolver and paste it here. In the settings tab, you can also choose whether you want to convert chips to BB or keep them in chips. And you can change the colors of the matrix. So when you see your simulations, they will come in different colors. For fold, check call, bet 1, bet 2 for example. You can simply change those colors by clicking here. You can choose any of the standard colors, or you can choose any color that you want by using the advanced tab. Down here you can see save current layout. When you're playing the drills, you might want to play multiple tables. Set the tables up however you want to, come back to the settings tab and click save current layout. That means the next time you play the same amount of tables, they will all line up in that order. Even if you just play one, it will simply take the place of the first table in the saved layout. Now I'm going to show you how to use the various features of Lucid GTO. First up, we'll take a look at how to set up the drills, starting with the cloud-based simulations. To set up a new drill, simply navigate to the bottom right and find Create Drill. Once you're here, we can select Cloud Sims, and we can now look through the simulations that we want to use to set up our drill. You can order them by name, by stack size, players, and so on and so forth. Here we'll start with a simple 8BB limped pot, small blind versus big blind. And this is a heads up situation, as you can see here, denoted by 2 players. On the left here we can see the settings for our drill. So to start with, we'll give our drill a name, and for this particular one we'll go for a probe opportunity for the out of position player. So you can select either position, so you can just play whichever position the bot chooses for you, or you can select one yourself, and here we're choosing out of position, which is the big blind. You can decide to stop the hand after the first action, so you'll be prompted to make an action. You can either end the hand there, you can end the hand at the end of that street. So for us, we would choose whether to probe the turn, then the bot would respond, and then the simulation would stop at the end of the turn. Or we can go all the way to the end of the river, and in this instance we'll go all the way to the end of the river. Here you can see recalc config. So you can see there's more sizes, balanced, fast or super fast. The fewer sizes you choose, the faster the simulation is going to be, the faster you can get through the drill. When we look at the browser, we'll look at creating our own sizings, which you can use if you want, but just be prepared that if you add more sizings, that will of course slow the program down slightly. At the bottom you can see recalc accuracy settings, which for a first time user might be quite intimidating, but it's not too concerning. You can leave this as is. This simply determines the speed with which your simulation is going to be calculated. You can increase the amount of time here, which will lower the accuracy but speed the program up, and we can do it here too. Or you can keep the settings, which are the recommended ones, or if you have a very fast computer, you can make them even lower. This will give you more accuracy with your sim, but will of course slow down the solution. Same thing happens with these 2 selections here. You can choose a maximum amount of time that the solver runs for before it just gives you the solution and you start playing. So here we've got it set to 60 seconds for the turn and 20 seconds for the river. That means the simulation will run for 60 seconds, and no matter what accuracy it reaches, it will then give you the sim and allow you to play the drill. This simply ensures that you don't sit waiting for ages and ages for an unnecessarily high amount of accuracy and not getting through any part of the drills. Down at the bottom, and this is crucial for the drills, this is how you select where the drill is going to start. We can see the word root, which means the start of the hand after the preflop situation. Click the word root and you'll be offered first and foremost the out of position's first action on the flop. In this situation we're going to check, and we're going to have our opponent check behind. We select turn, which is going to then calculate the turns while we're playing the drill. We click action, and we're looking for a probe opportunity. So we don't want to select an action because this is where we want to start the drill. So we keep it here at turn and we click save. Our drill is now ready to be played. Once you've clicked start in the bottom right, your table will load and then appear and you're ready to play. You can resize the table to any size you want, all the way up to full screen, or you can click the layout tab here, and if you've saved the layout in the settings, as I mentioned earlier, then it will conform to the size that you chose before. You can choose any number of tables that you want to play, but we'll use one just for the purpose of the video. Your actions are in the bottom right here, and you select your bet sizing, which is automatically set at the lowest, or you can cycle through by clicking here and then clicking down here to make your bet, or you can choose to check. We'll choose to check, and once we've done so, our opponent, aka the bot, will make his action and the hand will continue. In the top left here, you can see that this replayer button has now appeared. Once we click it, the replayer for the hand will appear as follows and show the simulation all the way through the hand, starting at where we began the drill. In this instance, that was on the turn. In the top left here, you can see you can sync it with Hero's Decisions, or you can remove this. This simply means that once you're playing in the drill, the replayer will keep up with you, and when you look at the replayer, it will be at the last point that you were in the hand. There are various things to see and choose from in this window, and we'll start from left and work our way all to the right. As you can see here, clicking on these nodes takes you through the hand, and you can see the simulation at each point. Clicking on the turn shows the first action, which is our probe range. We chose to check, and it shows our opponent's delaying or checking range. When you're using the drills, you can cycle all the way through to the beginning point of wherever the drill started. Up here in the top right is an option to open in browser. Clicking that option opens the full simulation in the Lucid GTO browser. This will start you back at the beginning of the hand and gives you an option to go through and change some of the decisions. This is in case if you want to see what happens instead, for example, if my opponent c-bet with his hand as opposed to checking behind. So you can examine the simulation in full by clicking the Open in Browser button. These buttons down here give you the option to cycle through the hand without clicking the nodes up in the top left. In the bottom left, you'll see the list of hands as we're playing them. The more hands that we'll play, the more this list will populate, and you can cycle through all the way with all the hands that you're playing. As you can see, I played another hand in the drill, and you can see the replayer is now full on the first hand, and is here keeping up with us on the second hand as well. And we can go back and look through all of the hands that we've played throughout our drill training session. In the bottom left, we can see some information about the hand. So exploitable for 0.41% of the pot. The exploitability simply means the accuracy of the sim. The higher the exploitability, the lower the accuracy. Just next to that is the out of position player's EV and the in position player's EV. These two correspond to each player's ranges and the strength of those ranges. Up here, you can see the options for the player's entire range, in this case us with the option of probing. You can see that we're probing 40% and we're checking 60%, and these are the sizes that we're going to be using when we bet. If you want to isolate the range that's using any of these options, simply click it and you'll see it in yellow here. You can do this for all of the options at the top, like so. In order to go back to normal, simply click Strat or Strat plus EV. Up here, you can see an option to show normalized weights, which will do nothing on this sim, and you can show an option to show the unweighted range. What you see in the simulation before you is the hand that the hands that each player is meant to arrive in the situation with. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't work out like this, and one of the players will end up here with a hand that they shouldn't, and you want to see what they're supposed to do in the simulation. In order to see that, just simply click here and it shows you the entire range that was in each player's pre-flop range. You can see that ace king, ace queen, for example, are not here. That's because the out of position player has a 0% checking back frequency pre-flop with these hands, and so it doesn't feature in the simulation at all. Taking king 8 as an example, you can see that king 8 doesn't arrive here in this way as the out of position player, and we're going to click here plus run it up and we can see the option of what king 8 is supposed to do. Next to that button is OOP and IP. This is simply just to show each player's range at this current node. So this is the out of position player's range, this is the in position player's range, and you can select to see what IP's range looks like, and you can return to OOP by doing as follows. This is useful if you just want to take a quick glance at what each player is supposed to arrive at this exact point with. Finally up here, you can cycle between strategy plus EV and simply strategy. When you click strategy, it will show you the percentages that you are supposed to take a certain action with. Taking Jack 8 as an example, you can see Jack 8 of clubs is supposed to check 47% and bet 1 around about 49%. If you click Strat plus EV, what you'll then see instead of the percentage is a 1.40, and that's the number of chips that each action will win. The difference between the numbers is simply the difference between the amount of chips that you'll win taking a certain action. When the actions are mixed, the EVs are obviously exactly the same, and there will be some microscopic differences between the numbers that don't actually amount to anything. Over on the right, you can see the strongest hands to the weakest hands in any player's range along here in this list. You can see starting at the strongest hands, which would be a full house up here, and down here to no draw, which means the complete air. And the green and the orange obviously respond to checking and betting and the correct sizing. The number on the left here is the total number of combinations of these hands in this player's range. In our instance here, this means we have 11.45 combinations of full house, and over here denotes the amount of our range that comprises. So 2.25% of our entire range is a full house in this situation. In order to isolate those hands in the simulation here, or to see the betting strategy, simply click full house up here, and you can see the combinations of full house that we have and the strategy for those hands. As you can see, as we cycle through the list, the strategy is changing, showing us what we're supposed to be doing with each of the hands in this range, all the way along like so. To come out of this, just simply click Strat or Strat plus EV. Finally, as with any solver, you can see in the bottom right is simply the different suits of each hand that you're playing, and you can see these are the offsuit hands, of which you'll see the 12 combinations, and these are the suited hands, which you'll see the 4, and the pocket pairs you'll see a 6. When looking at the combinations, hovering your mouse around will move along with the combinations that you're looking at. However, if you want to lock one of these, all you need to do is simply click. This is useful if you want to go look at something else at the same time, or if you want to take a screenshot so that you can discuss the hand with a friend. Simply click the combination and it will lock. Click anywhere on the sim and it will unlock for you. So if I want to lock Jack 10, I click it, then you can see nothing changes. To take off the lock, click anywhere else and you're unfrozen again. One of the more unique and exciting features of Lucid GTO is that you can actually train pre-flop situations the same way as post-flop situations. I'm going to quickly show you how to set up and train as follows. Just simply navigate to the pre-flop tab up here, click create drill in the bottom right. Same way that you would for a post-flop situation, just find the simulation that you want. Here we're going to call this versus ISO. So we're going to choose the position that we want to play. So here in a heads up situation, we're going to be the small blind, i.e. in position. You can choose whether to end after your action or the entirety of pre-flop. So we're just going to play the entire pre-flop situation here. You have the accuracy settings as you did before, but these will be very quick for pre-flop situations. And to set up the ISO, we're just going to click root. And then we're going to have our opponent ISO. And then it's our turn to react to that. We click save. And then we're just going to start the drill like we did before. And here we are facing an ISO. Now we need to make our decisions. And it will give you the same feedback as it did with the post-flop. But of course, you'll just be playing pre-flop situations. You can also use the replayer here, just the same way that you did with the post-flop scenarios. We drag that into here. And it works just the same way. It's going to show you what happens in the simulation against the action that you're facing. So you can see here the green is my flatting range, the red or burgundy is my jamming range, and the blue is my folding range. And then we can see if we take a different action, for example, and we force the action back to our opponent, it will see our opponent's response here. Clicking here opens it up in the browser and you can go even further and play around with pre-flop. Other than that, it works exactly the same as the post-flop. Creating a drill using your local sims is pretty straightforward and not too dissimilar from using the cloud sims. You can see here that your local sims will be listed along here. If you haven't added them yet, simply navigate to local sims, and we're going to find the sims where I've located them on my computer. Sim packs are a feature that will become available in the future and are going to be for hand history analysis purposes. When you want to add the sims, simply click down here on the right, add new sim, and you're going to be asked whether it's a pre-flop or a post-flop sim. We're going to select post-flop in this instance, and then we need to navigate to the path where our sim is located. For me, that is here. Find the folder, select it, and here we're going to call this example sims. The table size here, this determines what game that you're playing. In this situation, we're going to use a heads up sim and the SB versus BB matchup. When you're using 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, so on and so forth, obviously you will have a list of different matchups. For example, button versus big blind, cutoff versus hijack, and so on and so forth. In this sim, each big blind is calculated with 10, so that's 10 chips equals 1 big blind. Some people will have it set to 1, some people will have it set to 100. It's not relevant. All that matters is that you get the correct number from the number that's in your sim. In this instance, it was an 8 BB starting hand, so it doesn't matter where it is, where the hand is after you've posted the big blinds. It's simply the starting stack of the effective player. In this case, it was 8. There's no ante in the hand, and we're not going to offer a starting line. We click save, and that is now saved in my local sims. To use it in drills, we return to drills and click local sims, and now our sim is firmly in place, and we can see here we go through the same process as last time, and we'll start simply just from the flop as the out of position player. We'll select OOP, hand end, select whatever sizes we want, do the recalc, click save, and you can now see it's in our list of drills, same as the last one, and will operate exactly the same way. You can also filter different types of sims, so if you have some 3-handed sims, 4-handed sims, for example, you can select the number here. For here we'll do heads up, and then it will offer you the list of positions and the minimum big blinds and the maximum big blinds. This will just simply filter for if you're looking for a sim for a certain position, a certain situation, you can quickly navigate to it by selecting the filters. We're now going to take a look at the browser, and you can see it looks a lot like the replayer of the drills that we've just looked at, with a very similar layout with the buttons, the information in the bottom left, and on the top right here you can see the recalc which we talked about earlier, and we'll take a quick look at this afterwards. But first and foremost, we'll show how to select a sim. Simply click here in the top left, search for new sim, select the situation that you want using the filters that we talked about, or reordering by any name or number of big blinds that you want. We'll choose 8 big blind limped, and you can see the list of simulations from bottom to top arrive here. To search for a sim, simply type in whatever board you want, and you'll see that the boards will come up here all the way from rainbow down to monotone. You can see that the simulations use spade as the first card, diamond as the second, clubs as the third, and then hearts as the fourth rainbow card. Select a sim, it says downloading from server, hold tight, simulation appears, and you're now ready to browse through the simulation as you like with any solver. If at any point in the solution you want to stop the solving because you're happy with the accuracy, or you just want to see a quick and inaccurate output, simply click the word stop down there, and it will stop the solution at its current point at whatever accuracy it's at. Quick note that if you're using a version of Lucid where you have input your own PO solver file path, which is either basic, pro, or edge, you will have a little button here that will take you straight to PO Solver. So you can export the simulation from where you are now, take it straight to PO Solver, it will open in PO Viewer for you, and from there you can do whatever you'd like to do with it in PO Solver. For example, node lock the hand and change each player's range and see the output. You can see up here too, there's an option that says beta from hand history, and this gives you the option to paste a hand history and look at the simulation that way, to save you from having to just look at the hand individually and put all the metrics in yourself. So what you do is go to any of your tracking programs, for example Poker Tracker 4, and select copy hand history, select paste. The hand history will appear here and you click submit. This will now show you the simulation from the start of the flop here without you having to individually look. Now if you wanted to look at this situation without pasting, you'd have to put in the starting stack sizes, you'd have to search for the board texture, which obviously takes quite a bit of time. So skip out the middleman. If you're looking through hands that you've played, simply copy the text from the tracker, paste it into beta, and the sim is ready for you to solve through as follows. Finally, we'll take a quick look at these quick edit sizes. Now, this can be quite intimidating once you're first using the program, and the truth is that you don't necessarily need to use these if you don't want to. So you can stick to the sizes that Lucid has already in the program. So you can see here, this is the more sizes where you have an option for multiple sizes. So for example, if we pick a turn, we can click stop as follows, and we have multiple sizes that we can pick from. However, you can change it to balanced, which means that you're going to have fewer sizes to pick from, or in this case it's the same. You can pick fast, and you can see the sim calculated quite a lot more quickly, but provided us fewer sizes to choose from. And you can go for super fast as follows, and you can see it's going to calculate really quickly, and again just give you a small number of sims. So depending on how many options or what the stack sizes of each player are, each of these will provide different outputs. Sometimes the two outputs will be the same. For example, in this case, more sizes and balance were the same, and fast with super fast were the same. But if you're at deeper stacks, you'd likely see that there'd be some differences between those as well. Now we're going to take a quick look at the quick edit sizes. So you can see here there's an option, a toggle switch for quick edit sizes, and this means that you can change the sizes in the sim for both players on turns and rivers. So you can't do it for the flop, but you can do it for turns and rivers, and this is useful if your size isn't in any of these selections, or you want to see what happens when you add sizes in, take sizes out, give it bigger size options for example, and see how it changes the strategy. You can do that from here. So we'll click quick edit sizes, and we can see here there's actually an erroneous space here. You want to make sure that any sizes you add are separated by commas with no spaces. And what we're going to do is we're just going to change the strategy here for out position just to see what happens if instead of 30, 60, 120, we're just going to give it the option to pot or shove. And we're going to see what happens to the strategy. So we go back, we recalculate the turn, which won't take long. And this is the new option now. And instead of 51% check, we're now at 68% check. So if I only gave it the option to shove or to bet pot, it now wants to do quite a significantly lower amount of betting. So this is important because obviously in a lot of situations you want to see what happens when you play a one size game or when you play a multiple size game and how that has strategic shifts, and that's how you do it here, is by using these quick edit sizes. We talked earlier and in a more detailed video that's on the SixSoft website, and more videos that come later, you can make your own quick edit sizes and save them so that you can have your own solutions all the way through, using your own sizes in the drills and the browser. So there's the option to use your own sizes or to use the quick edit sizes in the browser. So that concludes the introduction video to Lucid. I hope that that's showed everybody how to download Lucid, how to pay for Lucid, how to set it up, how to use the drills and how to use the browser, and how to tweak some of the settings as well. There will be more in-depth videos on sixsoft.com in the near future. And once the hand history upload is ready, which it will be in the near future, we'll do an introduction video on how you can paste your hands straight from your tracker into Lucid and look through hands that you yourself have played. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the program.